Alright, bully.
They all got their mouths full.
Their mouths full. You want to put your head against it. I know what you want to do. I figured I have to watch it. Alright. My cows love sweet potatoes. Here, Dilly. Here.
They're still chomping. Everybody except Dexter. Candy.
Come on here, girls.
Candy. Minnie, come on. If you put that bucket down, Dixie will stick her head in it.
Oh, I know she will.
Won't you, Dixie?
They'll bite your hand. It don't make them no difference. They just want to eat. Okay, I gotta go get these. Let's just do this right here. I gotta get these other noodle heads down here. Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deepsouth Homestead. We're back out here at Ms. Wanda's greenhouse, and guys, we put a lot of work and a lot of effort into this greenhouse, and we got to noticing we have the maple tree standing here beside it with the persimmon standing right beside that, and the maple is got a rotten heart and it's got rotten spots all the way up it, and we've got another storm coming in. You know what I mean? It's like they will never stop. So we're going to try to take this tree down without it falling on the greenhouse. I've got a rope hook to the tractor up high. So hopefully I'm going to cut it and see if we can't just let it fall in between these other trees over in here. I know it's not heavy enough to really hurt anything. We just don't want it on the greenhouse because it could damage the greenhouse and the new fan we put here on the end and all that. So we're going to try to see if we can't get this tree to fall in this direction, and then we'll just cut it up in pieces and make good firewood eventually. But right now we just need to get it down before this storm comes in here, and we're going to be using our electric chainsaw. Oh, it's hollow. That ain't good.
No, that's not good. It's down and not on the greenhouse. Yes.
Perfect. Went perfect. Okay guys, this is what I was talking about. I saw this rotten spot here like this, but when I started cutting into it, I didn't realize it was already hollow. And I got to looking over here on this side, and there's a hole going up in here. So yeah, this tree was on its way out, and it's a good possibility a storm would have broke the top part of it off, you know, if the wind got to blowing much, because it really right in here, there's nothing really, it's all gone right here. It's tried to heal back around, but you know, it's dying because it doesn't have a heart in it. And up the tree, I was noticing up here, this is what I first saw right here was all of this. Is how it had rotted up into here, and the tree, you know, is dying. So I said, well, we'll take it down. And I got to looking at the stump, and I was like, yeah, we got to really take this thing down. It had a bunch of dead limbs up in it. It's all rotten up under it in there. So I guess now we will start cutting it up and trying to see if we can't haul all this mess out of here and get it cleaned up. It actually didn't fall on anything, so that was really good. I mean, it fell perfect.
Right in between all the trees.
That was what I was wanting, between this opening right here. I didn't know if it would actually do it because it's kind of a tight place, but it went right in there with no problem. And now we have this persimmon tree that can become a big, beautiful persimmon tree that bears fruit now. I mean, it's got lots of fruit on it too. So we're tickled pink about that. You know, I may just leave the stump sticking up high like that. I may cut the jagged part off. Just a place to sit on under the tree. It's sad that it takes a storm like this coming in for me to actually pay attention to this. I should have been more aware. Because even a thunderstorm coming up with, you know, good heavy winds could have broke it off on the greenhouse. And I guess lesson learned, we need to be more aware of what's around our homes and and the things that are important to us like this. I love trees. I love the maple, and I love when it leaves turn, and it's always been pretty. But sometimes you got to sacrifice stuff. You know, I'd rather see the tree go down than I had the greenhouse go down. So.
And you can always have firewood.
Yeah, we've got plenty of firewood here. Maple makes good firewood, so yeah, that'll work. And plus, we have a tree left, a persimmon tree. It ain't like we got a bare open spot here. We do have a tree that bears a type of fruit on it, so that's a good thing. And I may go ahead and cut this other little persimmon down beside it, so that just that one tree, because the little one's never going to do anything. So I think I'll probably cut the little one down too and just get it out of here, and leave just that one tree to branch out really nice, and I think it'll look good eventually.
And that is a native persimmon tree here.
Yes, that's a native persimmon. They're everywhere here. I mean, you can't stop them once you have them. I mean, they just...
And the animals love them.
The animals love them. If you have pigs and stuff like that, when we had our pigs in the pen down here, we could get persimmons off of them and take them down to the pigs. They love them. Cows love them. You know, animals just love, goats love them. So they are a beneficial thing to have on the homestead as far as that goes. But the sad part about it is raccoons like them and possums like them and stuff like that. So
deer.
Now deer love them, so that's another plus. But the coons and the possums and foxes love persimmons. So we don't want them up here, but it's good to have all the other animals up here. So let me get back busy and cut the rest of this tree up and see if we can't get this thing out of here.
And how many trees have you cut in your lifetime?
Oh my gosh. I toted a chainsaw and sawed logs for 15 years, cutting anywhere between 6 and 9 loads of logs a day, cutting them and topping them. So yeah, I've cut hundreds of thousands of trees in my lifetime. Anything from this big around to 4 and 5 feet in diameter. So yeah, it's not anything new to me. I don't care how experienced you are, you never know the wood, you know, because I didn't know how much of it was rotten, how much of it was solid. I was kind of guessing. I knew what part of it to leave holding, if it would. And I'm glad that the part that was eat all the way into was on the side toward the greenhouse. If it had been the other way, I'd had problems. I would have had to really took the tractor and pulled a lot harder than what I did. And another thing about taking a tree down like this, I have a rope here. This rope is a rope that I've hung off of many of buildings. I've hung 100 feet in the air off of the ground with this rope right here. And I trust this rope with my life. I would trust it with my life.
What kind of rope is it?
I don't know. It's what was used on barges and stuff. What they used to hold barges with. And when you take a rope like that, it's not like a chain. A chain has no give to it. This rope will stretch. And what I'll do is I'll get up high in the tree and tie it, and then I'll back the tractor up, and what happens is it's kind of like a rubber band. The rope will stretch, and as it stretches, it holds pressure, and as you begin to cut, the rope acts like a rubber band. It just starts pulling and springing it toward the direction that it needs to go in, whereas if you had a chain or something hooked up to it, the chain, once you pull it and once the tree starts leaning, the chain just gets slack and it could go anywhere at that point. So you always want to use a really good strap or a rope. Now, I trust the rope more than I do the strap because straps have known to break. This rope here, I have pulled logs with this thing before and have never had a problem. I'll pull things out of bogs with it. I pulled a boy on the side of the road out of a bog. His truck was completely in a creek, and I took that rope and pulled him out of a creek with it. So if it'll hold a barge, it'll hold me. That's the way I look at it. Okay, guys, what I've done here, these pieces like this will be used for firewood. I cut them up into short pieces anywhere between 5 and 6 feet long. I'll bring the tractor over, I'll put them all in the bucket of the tractor. I'll take them and dump them into the pile where they dry at before I can cut them up. I'll do the same thing with this piece right here, and then we'll come back, we'll clean all the limbs up, and it'll be done. That's the way I take a tree down and use the firewood out of it. I don't throw away the limbs and the tops because my way of looking at it is anything I don't have to bust to burn is a plus for me. I don't have to use a log splitter. I can cut it once. It's done. I can throw it right in the pile. It's ready to go. And that's why I keep all the limbs and the tops. It don't matter if they ain't that big around. They'll still burn. I don't waste any of my wood. And then these limbs will go into the woods, into one of our trash piles to be rotting down, to be using for future soil in our gardens. Because here at Deep South Homestead, you hear me talk about, we make our own dirt. When these limbs rot, it'll be nothing but pure organic matter. It'll probably take about a year for them to rot down and crush up. And I'll put dirt on top of them a little bit. Once I put them in the pile, I'll mash all of it down and put some dirt on it. And the termites and everything else that's in the soil will go to work on them, the microorganisms, and they'll break it all down. And when we go to scoop it up next year, we'll have nothing but just good old rich dirt with maybe a few sticks in it we'll take out, but it'll be full of earthworms and all other kind of good bacteria for the garden. So, guys, it's time for me to start loading the tractor up and getting this thing cleaned up. Thank you, guys, from Deep South Homestead.